2020, the first Raw of the new year, the new decade. This is the Wrestling Inc. podcast. I'm Glenn Rubenstein from a tropical island location, joined by Matt Morgan and Justin LaBar here tonight. So much I want to talk about tonight, Matt. We had a big return tonight. We had Brock Lesnar back on the show tonight. We had Bobby and Lana, Rusev and Liv. The story continued. So much happened. All in all, what did you think tonight of Raw?
Good show. Good. Worth watching, I thought, right? Versus all the others.
Yeah. I mean, there was definitely a big reset button. It felt like they're pushing tonight and saying, okay, this is the road to the Royal Rumble. It's the new year. It was really ramped up. There were a lot of good segments, I thought. Just all in all, I'm almost more, I don't know if you had this thought too, Matt or Justin, when we were ending the show and they were talking about what was coming up next week. That's where I was actually more disappointed because I was like, they're giving us rematches of stuff we saw last week and stuff we saw tonight.
Yeah, and the one thing I want to point out is they usually know what's going. We have some semblance of an idea of what's going to happen for Mania, rumor-wise, or some kind of feel. I know we're still on the road to the Rumble, but do you know what I mean? But we also kind of have an arrow pointing toward Mania normally by now. We don't. So this was a very important show for them to do what they did tonight. We got to give them credit a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, the word on the street is there is not as much pen on paper. It's more pencil right now for Mania, and that's unusual for this time of year for us to be, into January and them not to have as much certainty. But yeah, I think this Raw is pretty enjoyable. My number one complaint about Raw week to week, and it's because they have 3 hours to fill, is they do too many long, lengthy matches with 1 or 2 commercial breaks, and it kills the pacing. This doesn't mean those matches aren't of high quality, because they are, but it's just not a conducive, engaging pace. But that was, at some points they got long. The other points, I thought they're building Alistair Black. They're doing stuff with this Eric Rowan Cage thing, Brock Lesnar, the Lana stuff. Whether you like it or not, they're dangling a carrot. So I thought there was some real effort put in here of like, let's try to get consistent and build some stuff here.
Yeah. So let's start with the big news. Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar out to the ring tonight, and Paul talking about who's Brock's opponent going to be at the Royal Rumble. Thinking about it, who should it be? There's no one that can face him one-on-one, so why not have Lesnar enter in the number 1 spot of the 30-man Royal Rumble match and take on everyone? Matt, how do they play this?
Your guess is as good as mine.
Right? I mean, I can't figure it out.
Me either. I don't know what the end result here is, and I think that's what's kind of cool about it, right?
It's exciting. I mean, Justin, I don't know about you. Yeah, I mean, Justin, I don't know about you, but when I look at WWE and it's like, well, Jesus, how the F are they gonna, you know what I mean? Like, there's nothing predictable about this.
Yeah, I'm okay with this. It's a little head scratching from a logic standpoint. Why is the champion going to put himself in a grueling hour-long match? But the title's not on the line. They never said the title's on the line. And what I like about this from a creative standpoint is it opens up creative possibilities that inside of this Rumble match, the amount of guys, the amount of fresh matchups we could see Brock mix it up with. Yes. Matt Riddle, Alistair Black, Big E, guys we haven't seen him tangle up with. It could happen, and it could be in a protected, contained situation. I'm okay. I would rather this than a throwaway one-on-one squash title match of Brock versus random person.
Here's the other thing, and I'm one of those that are on the WWE's side for them not having pen to paper, but having pencil to paper into Mania. And I know they're being criticized for not having an arrow pointing toward what they're doing at Mania. I think this is a good thing in a way, because I'm hoping it means because they're actually listening to the fans for a moment here and trying to get direction. With that said, during the Rumble, we're going to see some cool moments that WWE is very good at doing. When all the smoke clears and Brock Lesnar backs into Braun Strowman, they both face off, or it's Brock Lesnar after all the smoke is cleared, backs up, and it's into Matt Riddle. They both turn around and stare at each other, and we have that moment, knock out whoever. And I have a feeling they're going to gauge what that response is with certain talents and maybe take it from there. And I think that's not a bad idea.
No,
I think it's a good idea.
Yeah, especially if you know, maybe they know that they're going to build Mania around. Okay, maybe the Fiend's going to have this match, and maybe if they already have one or two big, maybe they know what grudge match Triple H is going to have since he always has one. If they already have those one or two, yeah, take the temperature, see what people react to. Maybe it's a Drew McIntyre who we started to see a face turn tonight.
Who knows? Yeah,
right. So yeah, take the temperature, see what happens. But I think this Rumble match, Brock Lesnar's probably not going to win the Rumble, so this Rumble match allows for you to spawn a feud, whether it's the person who eliminates him or whether it's something else. They take the temperature. I'm okay with this person.
If he wins, it would be a terrible mistake.
Yeah, what's he going to do? Challenge the Fiend? I mean,
terrible mistake.
Yeah, I mean, unless they try to unify the world titles again, which I don't see why they would.
Guys, we would also argue him winning any type of Money in the Bank ladder match is a terrible idea as well. We saw that.
And Zachary Showalter asking with a super chat there. Thank you, Zachary. So is Brock really not going to defend the title for 6 months? I mean, I think at Mania there could be something, but it really depends on how this match goes.
Yeah. I mean, no offense, Zach. This championship to me is meaningless. I hate to sound like a jerk. It's meaningless to me when it's. I know it sounds so weird by saying because it's on Brock it's meaningless, but to me as a fan, when I watch this show, I don't care about it because I never hear about it. I don't know anything. We don't see anything about it. We see no development. We see no components being developed for him or for that championship. It's like Brock takes it and just it goes into this black hole for me. And the only championship I really look at is really the Fiend's.
Yeah. I mean, do you think he's too protected, though, Justin? In the sense, I mean, the Fiend's not going to drop the title in Mania unless he massively cools off, right?
Yeah, well, it's hard to say what's going to happen at Mania. I would hope not. I mean, he is the hottest thing they had. My fear is if it's something like the Fiend versus Roman Reigns. I don't want to see that. That would be that's a fear I have. But yeah, I don't know. The Fiend is the hottest thing they have going, so I hope they have some master plan. I mean, I still think again, we know Taker's not done. I still think Taker and the Fiend is just such an interesting thing, title or no title. That's just me.
But Matt, don't you wish the Fiend weren't the champ so that way Bray could enter the Rumble, the Fiend could enter the Rumble, the Muscle Man could enter the Rumble, and we could just have it be Bray Wyatt's night?
That would be some serious funny stuff.
Three faces of Foley.
Absolutely. 2021, man. When Bray's not the champ, man, like this gimmick can have such legs. Justin, you had the inside scoop on how they produced some of these first Firefly Funhouse vignettes. It seems like that's slowed down. Have you heard anything more about them ramping up production with that original creative energy they had?
Well, yeah, they haven't shot a Firefly Funhouse here in Pittsburgh in months. There's a little bit noticeable difference. The Firefly Funhouse segments they shoot now, they're shooting week to week, and the difference, the way you know, is there's not the door. There's not a door behind them. That's the difference if you want to look at the set. Yeah, I mean they're not doing it just because they need to do it week to week. They need to be able to produce it and line it up with the promos they're doing. That does not mean the creative energy is not there. I know Bray is still very much. The people that were involved in those segments early on, Tom Savini, who's done a lot of all the special effects that the Fiend's doing.
They have Tom Savini doing that.
Tom Savini did the mask that the Fiend wears. Tom Savini did the lantern.
The horror guy.
He's based here in Pittsburgh. That's where they shot the Firefly Funhouse segments with him.
Oh my god! Of course they did. That's that terrible movie that I hope fans don't ever watch. Of myself, James Storm, and Kurt Angle called Death from Above, straight to CD DVD. Terrible. Please don't watch this, folks. I'm
going to download this right now. I'm not going to pay for it.
You guys should watch it because you'll laugh your ass off.
You really should.
It's that Ryan. But Tom Savino, he was in it. And he was a cop in it. And I was like, oh my God, Tom Savini, huge horror legend. Wait, he's doing them. I'm so impressed right now. He's doing Bray Wyatt stuff.
He's a part of a lot of the design, the mask, a lot of the visuals.
It's awesome.
Yeah, and well, he has students that understudy him here in Pittsburgh, so they've all been part of the original Firefly Funhouse stuff. So Glenn, to answer your question, they're not filming here anymore just because week to week Bray's on the road, but there's still a lot of synergy creatively going on.
This was Kurt Angle's quote unquote movie company, by the way.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Love you, Kurt. Thank you for inviting me, my friend.
I'm looking forward to watching this. How bad could it be?
Sid was in it.
Ooh. Okay, we'll see. We'll see how this is. Everybody, be sure to check that out. Is it even on streaming on video on demand? I'm going to find a link. I'll see if
it
it's
is. Fans have sent it to me. It's
nice. Fantastic. So we had Rey Mysterio versus Andrade tonight, a rematch for the U.S. title, which Andrade won a few weeks ago at Madison Square Garden. Matt, were you surprised that Andrade retained tonight? I mean, I thought Rey had a pretty good shot.
I am, but again, I'm not a huge fan of Andrade like everybody else is. But if they're going to push him and book him right, this is how to do it, right?
Yeah.
Right? I don't know.
And good stuff with Zelina getting involved tonight. I thought, once again, she proved to be the MVP.
Hell yeah. She always is, dude.
Yeah. What do you think, Justin? Was it just sort of a momentary thing when they put Rey versus Brock and this, the angle that he was in? I mean, with Dominic getting all the time and Cain Velasquez, now it seems like Rey's kind of back to where he was a year ago.
Yeah, I mean, I think they like to just tread on Rey. He's one of the, he's a legend. I think part of it's also a trade off. Rey's giving them what he's got because he wants to get his son in there. That thing's going on. So, I mean, Rey's Rey. I can't poo poo these matches with he and Andrade because they're good matches. But again, it's kind of like I said earlier. After a while, they stop. They start meaning less. It's like, all right, I keep seeing these lengthy matches that really have no definitive outcome. I will say tonight had something. The way they kind of played was the Vega in there, and they said, looks like Rey was more concerned about Zelina than Andrade was, and then it got personal, taking Rey's mask off. Then he attacks Andrade later. So I like the personal element they injected in it tonight. But yeah, I don't really know what the long term goal was for Rey. I really don't think they have a long term goal for Rey other than, hey, just put some people over. I guess that's just all you need to do with him.
Which works because of what he just went through with Brock Lesnar. Rey really got pushed up high I thought, and he's still kind of high, and a big win for Andrade.
Yeah. The mask thing, I feel like they overdo that. I feel like no luchador should have their mask. I mean, that should be like a very special thing, and I feel like they're now doing that multiple times a year.
Really?
I mean, they just did it recently. They did it
with Rey or who?
What they did, wasn't there one with Rey recently, Justin, or am I confusing this with
Rey?
Pardon me, they did it, I want to say, with one of the Lucha House Party. I feel like there's been a couple times recently. I'm sure our fans can point this out. I just feel like it's an overdone thing.
It is, but if you're basing this in reality,
yeah,
and you're trying to find cheap ways to to win and get in your opponent's head and screw with them, like if I was in a hold, wouldn't you just go for the luchador's mask and try to start yanking that crap off so he breaks the hold or something, and then I don't know, take advantage while he's trying to readjust his mask? Okay,
the chat room is confirming they did it recently with Sin Cara.
Oh no! Hey.
Who cares? Well, and plus, but the whole thing. I mean, obviously, WCW did it the best the first.
And
time
it was from Andrade.
First time they did it with Rey back in.
You
WCW.
thought they did it the best?
Well, WCW did it the best when they removed Rey's mask the first time ever. That was the best.
Kevin Nash and Scott Hall clowned him. They made fun of how he looked.
No, I'm talking about. Well, I'm saying when Jericho had his feud with Rey, and Jericho would go to review. Yeah. When Rey was part of the filthy whatever he was. That was terrible, and that kind of kills doing this mask deal 20 years later because he spent all this time. We know what he looks like. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is the storyline of teasing the mask with Jericho and Rey, they did it the best, and you can't. I don't know.
I got you.
Yeah, they said that Rey looked like a 10-year-old kid. When it was bad.
I will say I was disappointed the first time I saw Rey Mysterio without a mask. It did take away some of the coolness factor.
It did. It definitely did. I thought he looked like a little kid. And Rey still looks the same. The dude does not age.
It's true. Could hit him all at once, though. Some guys get to be like 50 and then boom, they're an old man.
Ain't gonna be him.
Yeah. So we really built up tonight. Samoa Joe and Kevin Owens having this mystery partner to face Seth Rollins and the Authors of Pain. We'll talk about the payoff later. Matt, how's this pairing working for you, Samoa Joe and KO?
Still so far so good. I'm okay.
And what about Rollins with this Messiah business? I mean, the Chosen One, the Messiah, the Promised Land. This seems a little out of nowhere.
It is. It is, but I mean, he's being arrogant, right? It's all good. It's crappy writing from the writers, you know.
The Messiah.
I feel like Messiah is one of those words that, like, Vince gets stuck on. He's like, we're gonna go with it. He's the Messiah, damn it. I don't know. I feel like he gets attached to it or something.
It does seem very Vince. I mean,
he's like in an XFL meeting. They're going over the first week's distribution. Damn it, I got it. He's a Messiah. Vince, we're talking about DC versus Tampa here. No, it's I don't know. He just like has Tourette's in a meeting.
Yes.
Messiah. Somebody sneezes. Cut that out. Messiah.
Cut that out.
I think he's in XFL meetings and just texting these random ideas to like Paul Heyman during the meeting. You know, Bruce Pritchard.
No, it's funnier for him just being totally crazy, like post, yeah.
If he's texting anybody, it's somebody random. It's like it's like the guy that like drives him to the gym or something. I don't know. You know.
How do you think Vince McMahon texts? Do you think like these are full sentences, abbreviations? Do you think he uses emojis?
I don't think he uses emojis.
No, I can't see him using emojis.
CM Punk was talking about Vince McMahon would text him in the middle of the night.
Yeah, I know. You hear these stories, right? But I just can't. Better yet, do you think Vince McMahon, you know, I'm sure he has an iPhone. Do you think he's made his own emoji of himself?
I think
he's probably one of the ones that uses like the eggplant dick emoji.
I was gonna say, do you think Vince has one of himself? It shows like the stars in the eyes.
Oh yeah, the Animoji. Yeah,
but with the hearts. I'm sorry, the hearts in the eyes.
Well, I guarantee you, I would bet considerable. I would bet a considerable amount of money that Vince McMahon has texted animated GIFs of himself.
Oh, somebody had to show him eventually the GIF that goes around of him when Stacy Keibler's stripping on the table and his eyes roll back in his head and he flips over in the chair. That famous GIF from Monday Night Raw. Somebody had to have shown that to him.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we were wrong tonight, Matt. The Street Profits versus the OC versus the Viking Raiders for the Raw Tag Team Championships.
Yeah.
And they did not give us the big feel-good moment. Crowd chanting for the Street Profits. Crowd chanting, "We want the smoke." Commentary putting over the fact that OC was getting no reaction. Viking Raiders just sort of there, and the Street Profits did not win. The Viking Raiders retaining tonight.
I was happy that the commentary did make note of that, though. I did like that.
Yeah.
Well, because it sends a message, right? They're supposed to be on script. They're supposed to be saying what's being buzzed in their ear. And for them putting over the guys that were not supposed to be winning, you know what I mean? I thought that was good. But yeah, this was not a good outcome.
Speaking of Vince, when the Street Profits came out and they went into the crowd, Montez was doing his best, like, exaggerated Vince walk, the way that he was walking and swaggering his way to the ring.
Those guys are such stars, and
especially I think him by himself one day is going to be really good, really good.
I mean, and they can wrestle. I mean, these guys could go out there and put on a hell of a show. I thought this match was really good tonight. I don't think that they need a title, but I do think that a title will get them out of this role that we're in, or they're in, of just being the backstage commentary team in these little, they're not even comedy segments when they cut to them. They're kind of nothing.
He's so damn good, though.
Yeah.
Was Montez?
Yeah.
He's so damn good, though. Like, think about what he's been able to get over. Like, at the beginning, we're like, what are they doing with him? Why are they having him constantly and be responsible for getting other acts over instead of themselves? They've done it, though. They've managed to not somehow get any on them in an impossible situation of getting a lot on you.
Yeah.
And no one else will be able to pull this off, I would argue, and not come out of it weaker for it. Those dudes are crazy over, especially Montez, though. He is going to be a money singles act, man. He's got to figure out what gear to wear, though. I think his gear can use a little change, and I could see him as a huge star. I'm not that I'm the only one who says that. I'm sure every fan thinks and says the same damn thing. But his charisma is insane, man. He has good feeling. He has a good vibe. You know what I mean? He's special.
It feels like a long-term Paul Heyman project. Like Paul Heyman saw it, and Paul Heyman's like, we're gonna make people believe in these guys. We're gonna slow play it, and
But
they have
that dude. He's gonna break away one of those days, though.
Yeah.
Not anytime soon, but.
If you weren't a regular viewer tonight and you tuned in and you saw this triple threat and you saw Authors of Pain later in the show, you saw all these tag teams tonight. Out of all the tag teams you saw tonight, would you guess the Viking Raiders were the champions of this brand?
Hell no. I would think there's some piss poor indie-rific act that are there to do the job to one of those two teams.
Yeah.
I would not think geez, no, not at all. Again, you can't get past what the hell they're wearing.
Vikings aren't cool, man. Not this style of Viking, at least. So this was a good match.
Yeah, it was a good match.
Except for the finish.
Yeah.
But the Viking Raiders retain. Okay, so we got Becky Lynch tonight. And what did you make of this promo? This was not out there piss and vinegar or swagger or fire. I mean, this was her talking about, doubting her wisdom for facing Asuka at the Royal Rumble, showing an interesting lack of confidence.
Just trying to get a little bit more fire, under Asuka, putting over your opponent, babyface 101. I know we see a lot of gray side of Becky, but this was a good side. This is a good chance for us to see, the babyface side of it, which is putting your opponent over and make her beat more. So when you beat her, you're beating someone.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Becky beat Charlotte and Ronda at WrestleMania. I mean, she's been untouchable for the last year, so it does not hurt her, and it's very appropriate, as Matt just said, babyface 101 here, to legitimize Asuka, to say, man, I'm doubting. This is the one person I couldn't ever beat. And Asuka needs that, because Asuka's, Asuka's been in this weird place for the last 18 months of Kabuki Warriors, not even being on TV, so they can't afford to have Becky coming out too piss and vinegar, too arrogant. She's got to respect Asuka, at least on the mic. And then she socked Asuka, so she's still showing that she's the man. She's a champion, but she needs to help get Asuka some verbal props.
Right. We all know Asuka is a badass and incredibly underbooked and whatnot, but the average WWE fan doesn't see that. They see her going away, like he said, for 18 months essentially, and being in a tag team, which means they're not as important. She's not as important as she once was to the average fan. So again, having Becky go out there, who the average fan knows without a doubt, they know her very well. So they're going to trust her when she talks about how good Asuka is and how Asuka's always had her number. And it means more now when Becky goes and beats her.
And Asuka, the way she showed up tonight and started running her mouth on the mic, that is perhaps the most animated. I'm trying to think of any superstar, male or
she's
female.
Coming a long way, dude. Seriously, she's come a long way.
So, Justin, what do you think that was like backstage? Do you think Vince walked Asuka through how he wanted her to talk in that segment and how he wanted her to act?
Yeah, he texted the promo and emojis.
Seriously, how do you think it went down, Justin? He grabbed her and explains to her how to say this. How did it go?
Now listen, you're gonna go out there. You're gonna give me a little of this, a little of this, a little Google, a little Gaga, a little and you get in the ring, and a Google and a Gaga, and then down you go.
I'm sure Vince used much more offensive placeholder sound-alike Japanese that Justin is wisely avoiding using tonight.
Although, I don't know. Who knows? Vince loves AC/DC. Asuka, one of her favorite bands, AC/DC. Maybe they bonded over AC/DC. Maybe they came to their...
I'd pay $500 to watch an episode of Ride Along with Vince McMahon and Asuka. Just give me an hour of them in the car.
No, I'm surprised. Justin, you've got to do it. All right, pretend you're Vince McMahon. You're at the driving wheel. You're McMahon. You're at the driving. All right, listen, you're driving. Asuka's riding shotgun. Okay. Do Vince at the steering wheel. Listen, you can do this.
I'm listening.
And flash back to Vince from that movie, the wrestling movie, when he's drinking
Beyond the Mat.
When he's drinking the water in the office with puke. Or right before that, rather, when he's talking about we make movies.
Asuka. You know what we're all about? Characters. I'm a character. You could be too. All you got to do is listen to what I have to say. Follow the guidance. We're all about Asuka. You know what we're all about? Movies. Movies. Movies.
Good job, Justin.
Tough one to do. Justin's really staying in the safety zone with this one. Everyone in your head envision how this went.
Yeah, because I mean, one wrong thing, and like next thing I know, I got
Vince from beyond the mat, dude, at the steering wheel. It does it all. Says it all.
One wrong thing, and I'm one wrong thing I say in this invitation, and Raj has got to fire me because of an outcry of public.
Cancel LaBar starts trending. You know.
Yeah.
You don't think Vince is stupid enough to sit there and start like imitating?
Absolutely.
Talk really?
100%. I 100% think Vince has spoken Japanese gibberish before when trying to give Shinsuke or Asuka guidance.
Oh my goodness! No way. No way. Stephanie has completely, and Hunter, I am sure, have completely
told him to stop doing that. Be like, Vince, you have to stop talking Japanese.
They have completely.
Now, Vince, we thought you learned in 1995, and Bull Nakano pushed you and told you to shut the F up. We thought you learned about trying to imitate the Japanese wrestlers.
If we can have Jimmy Wang Yang on right now, he would be the one to ask this to, honestly. Yeah. Because he's played both type of characters. They made him play a Western character. Remember, a cowboy character at one point too.
I mean, there is some. I mean, we'd have to call it what it is. I mean, like it is like an over/under of if you have anything to do with if your character has anything to do with Japanese culture, it is an over/under. When are you going to have to start spitting green mist? I mean, they had Matt Bloom doing green mist, and he wasn't even Japanese. True. You know, there is like this over/under. Like Yokozuna threw salt. Everybody else does a green mist. They just can't.
I thought was
resist.
Cool. I thought that was cool though.
Oh, Yoko was cool. Him and Mr. Fuji was cool.
The salt was cool.
Yeah.
But aside from speaking another language, I guarantee you Vince does an accent or an affect when coaching anyone of how he wants them to say something.
Okay.
Did he ever? He coached you on how to do the stuttering gimmick, I'm sure, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm saying he's been back there with the Street Profits. Like doing
Definitely, okay, I could see that with him doing his throw the clip right now to Vince McMahon on SmackDown, I believe it was, walking backstage and dropping the N-word.
Yeah.
Yeah. Throw to that clip right now.
He's very method.
He is. He is.
Anyhow, let's not get ourselves in further towards the danger zone here. So this was a good segment. I mean, it built it up. And then we followed this with Mojo Rawley, who peeked inside Eric Rowan's cage.
Great.
Yes. Said, what the hell's wrong with you? He was tweeting about how messed up Rowan is. Any guesses, Matt? What the messed up thing, the wrong thing that's in his cage?
I don't know now. No. Is it a dead animal? Maybe it's a dead bird or dead something, and he's talking to it and stuff. I don't know.
Well, we did get Rowan versus KJ Orso tonight. So this was what we've seen before. And
forget the cage as far as match goes and making him look like a monster. I'm still okay with this. I'm still on board.
Yeah.
They're setting themselves up though. They really put an investment. So whatever this freaking thing is, it better deliver. It better be really freaking weird, because at this point, I mean, they have set the bar. I mean, like, yeah, it's either got to be like a decapitated something, or it's got to be, it's spit blood or whatever out of the chopper.
That's the question. Orso looked into the cage and his face was covered in blood. Were we supposed to believe that it shot the blood at him or that it bloodied his face? Again, I'm willing to give them a little artistic license on what the intent was supposed to be. But yeah, whatever it is, gave him the crimson mask, as it were, before he ran to the back.
Do you think Vince has made up his mind of what's in the cage yet?
No.
I don't know. I mean, just shoot blood out? That's kind of weird. What could it be? What is there out there, folks? Fans in the chat room. What is there that's out there that could shoot out blood and be small enough to be in that cage?
Yeah, spitting cobra. I mean, I'll remind myself later, somebody Google what animals shoot or spray like some sort of red, maybe to, if not blood, something to ward off their.
It's probably something Tom Savini has created. It's something R that Tom Savini has created in the cage.
Yeah, well, that would be cool, but I think it's going to be disappointing. Just a hunch. Akira Tozawa versus AJ Styles. This was a pretty straightforward match, but hey, if you ever want to see AJ Styles do his Randy Orton impersonation, you got that tonight 10 times over.
Yeah. This was a good match, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, not for Akira, but for AJ.
Yeah.
Definitely. And AJ versus Randy is going to happen next week on Raw. Notable that as AJ was leaving the ring, we saw somebody in the ring getting the shit kicked out of them by security. Like, it did not look pleasant at all. When we came back from the break to see the recap of last week's wedding between Lana and Bobby, they were joined in the ring by the minister, and it turns out it was the minister that came to the ring early. They were the actor playing the minister that security was pummeling before we went to the break.
Tremendous.
Hilarious. Because the guy's an actual actor. He's where most roles played that we see, obviously, well, you guys know this, I'm saying this to the fans, are independent wrestlers getting booked as extras. This was an actual actor. And so he's
well, what would he come out from the crowd? Like what?
No, so he was in, so where they have the timekeepers area, they have that's where they'll have talent exit in and out of that timekeepers ringside area if they don't want them to exit or enter through the entranceway. So he was on standby because his segment was next, but he went early, and he went and bolted into the ring to get into his cue before they brought the lights down to show whatever they were showing on the Tron and commercial, and he bolted, and security didn't realize it was him, and they tackled him.
That's funny.
Yeah. I mean, I doubt we will see this actor again. They're probably making him sign a release and cutting him a very big check backstage still as we speak.
Well, he was the same one they used last week, and this actor actually posted on his social media that he had never had a crazier but more enjoyable acting experience than what live Raw was for the wedding last week. So he's probably getting paid. Look, I know they pay the independent. If you're an independent wrestler getting booked as an extra, and they ask you to take a bump, so like those No Way Jose conga line guys who got bumped around by Drew, you get a nice paycheck for taking one bump. So I'm sure this actor is getting probably one of the better paydays that he's gotten, other than doing live local theater. So I'm sure he's probably willing to take some tackling from security if it keeps a steady residual,
And they flew him into Oklahoma. This is a New York actor,
right?
We're talking way too much. We're talking way too much about this. Keep going.
This is one of the more fascinating things that happened tonight. Anyhow, okay, Matt, you wanted to move on? Let's talk about Lana and Bobby Lashley.
Oh, let's fast forward through it.
Renewing their vows. Okay, let's talk about them being interrupted by Rusev on vacation.
Yeah.
From a $12 stock photo backdrop. And setting up a match where he's going to face off next week against Bobby Lashley.
Whoopee.
And he said next week's the return of the Brute, the Bulgarian Brute.
Yes. Lashley had said Rusev used to be a man, but his ex-wife stripped him of his manhood.
She took your manhood.
And it was Lashley that threw down the challenge, saying if he has any balls left, he'll show up next week so Lashley can rip them off and shove them down his throat.
But did you catch the subtlety of what the progression was? Is that Lana was screaming and screaming and screaming, and Bobby Lashley told her to shut up. And then he kept his eyes on Rusev, and like they talked about next week's fight. And Lana just stared Lashley down for the rest of the segment. So there's a little foreshadowing of the dissension that's now going to start between Lashley and Lana. Mm-hmm. That's what you have to take away from all this.
I enjoyed the fan that yelled out when Lana was speaking that said, "This is the worst plot line ever." Like loudly, and it made it on air clear as day.
Did you see the sign that was held up behind them at the beginning of the segment that security had to take away?
No. What was it?
It said Lana Hart's BBC.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
Jesus. Wow.
And it got on TV very prominently until WWE security came and got that guy.
I mean, who doesn't love the British Broadcasting Channel? I mean, they've got Doctor Who.
Right.
Yeah. They've got Sherlock.
It's your favorite channel.
More of an ITV guy when it comes to UK television, but that's just me. Anyhow,
Oh,
Masked Singer UK on ITV.
Way off the rails.
So, there was a promo. Oh, actually, right following this, Charlie Caruso was backstage with R-Truth talking about his record number of title reigns with that 24/7 championship. And Liv Morgan appeared and said that Rusev's going to be facing Bobby next Monday. That means Lana will be in Lashley's corner, which means Rusev will need someone in his corner. And that is a moment she has lived for. Get it? Because her name is Liv. Lived for.
Good.
Yep. But good for her and Rusev, right? Okay, this is a shitty storyline, but we're glad her and Rusev are getting something, right?
Yes. But I'm hoping she's able to turn this into something.
Yeah.
All I've heard is how talented she is and how underutilized she is. I hear that about many talents, though, and I think it myself of many talents. From what I've seen, between NXT and being brought up to the main roster, the only thing I've seen that I was even remotely entertained by with her is when she kind of, before getting pounded by Ronda Rousey, kind of like laid on the mat like this, kicking her legs in the air, kind of weird, before they locked up and she got her ass kicked. That's the only remote entertainment I've ever gotten out of her to this day. And I've reserved my comments for that for a long time now, because I keep hearing from fans about how incredibly talented she is, and that we don't know until they give her a legitimate opportunity, especially with this Harley Quinn character that she's supposed to be able to play, or supposedly with this stuff for Bray Wyatt that she's supposed to be able to play. And then this.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about the promo. I'm not talking about just because she's putting a terrible thing, a terrible angle, or whatever you want to call it. It's the top angle, so we can't call it terrible. It has a lot of eyeballs on it, and it's what you make of it. So those promos are so damn important. So I don't care what they told her, what they wrote down. She should have taken something in there over. I don't know what, to be fair, but I don't know. It missed. This was not a good promo for me.
Well, what did you make of this match tonight? Sarah Logan versus Charlotte Flair. Sarah doesn't even get a televised entrance. Charlotte comes in the ring. Sarah's beating the crap out of her, throwing the robe around the mat, slamming it around before Charlotte gets the comeback, and gives her the big boot for a big pop from the crowd. I mean, this was kind of weird tonight. We didn't get any actual women's matches. This happened and Becky's face-off happened, but with I want to get your 2 cents on this. I mean, what do you think they do with Charlotte from here? And does Sarah Logan even have a future in the foreseeable future?
I think Sarah Logan's got a great look. She's big. You know what I mean? She looked very, I thought, physically credible with Charlotte in there, physically speaking.
Yeah.
She's not one of the smaller girls, right? She's big and athletic, and I think she's damn good. She's got a good look too. She should have had an entrance for sure. But other than that, okay, here's the thing. We can't expect them to always have matches for them. As long as they're giving us some type of storyline advancement, some layers to their characters somewhere in there, sometimes I'm okay with that. And it was cool to see her on TV again, because we hadn't. I don't know.
Yeah, sometimes you can get more accomplished by doing what they did tonight. I mean, granted, she should have had an entrance. I agree, but I mean, she brought the fire. She attacked Charlotte before Charlotte even had her robe off. She's disrespecting the robe. So I mean, and they need to do a little bit more of this quickly, because if we assume that the women obviously are going to have a Rumble match, that's just going to become the standard now. And there's not a lot of women. If you look at who aren't champions, there's not a lot of women who have who are your front runners to win the Rumble. So they need to build some credibility of a few more on the female roster to add some luster to that match.
Yeah, and odds of potentially winning versus the sure-on favorites, right?
Right.
As of right now, I mean, I think it's Charlotte or Sasha. I mean, right? Bayley is the SmackDown Women's Champ. Becky's the Raw Women's Champ. I mean, with Lacey.
Well, don't forget about NXT. You have NXT ladies probably too.
That's true. And Lacey and Sasha. Do you think Lacey and Sasha are going to get a match at the Rumble, or do you think they'll just give them a featured spot in the Rumble? Because that'll determine right there. If they're getting a match at the Rumble, Charlotte's winning the Rumble.
Yeah, I'd like to see those two girls have a match at the Rumble, though.
I also don't like the presumption that if you have a match on the undercard of Rumble that you can't be in the Rumble match later.
True.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
There's no point. If you're in a
we
title,
saw it last year. Becky had a loss to Asuka last year and then entered the Rumble.
But I hate that. I don't know where that's because in the early days of the Rumble, like one of my favorite Rumbles is most people's '92. I remember Piper had a great promo, great match against the Mountie, and then Piper was in the Rumble later. Like I hate that. I don't know where we took the curve to where if you're on an undercard singles match, you're presumed not to be part of the Rumble match later. I don't.
7 a.m. Gamer is predicting. I think Sasha wins the Rumble and faces Bayley. I think Sasha winning and pulling a swerve where you think she's gonna challenge Becky, but announces Bayley instead. That could be really good if we set up Sasha versus Bayley for Mania.
Could be.
I think they almost need it right now. Bayley needs it. Bayley needs something of that level.
I'll be honest. I think they need to take the title off Bayley before Mania.
Yeah. We got a lot of support on that, Matt. We talked about this on the podcast last week about how much like Bayley is bringing Sasha down. Bayley's sort of this nothing factor. I was afraid to say it because I know Bayley's got a ton of a hardcore fan base out there as does Sasha, and we are fans of them as well. But this seems to be a opinion that a lot of people have, but they're just not as vocal about it. But I think we all feel it. Like it's just not really working.
Because we're all rooting for Bayley. We know her real life story here. Why would you want to crap on someone that eats, drinks, and sleeps this business, man? This is like life or death for her. You know it is, and how she treats this. And it's different than all these other, I'm not saying all the other people aren't as into it. Well, actually, I am saying that. Yeah. She's into this more than most other wrestlers that I've seen. She is.
Yeah.
And so no one wants to crap on her. We want it to work. And we're so damn desperate in our coverage, we're doing it even, rooting her along. But we got to be real and we got to be honest. And that's what, if we're talking and we're booking our own WrestleMania, and this is our company, I'm sorry, I got to take the title off her way before Mania, and we've got to build somebody else in a title match, two completely different people, and make that title mean something that we can look forward to being defended at Mania. Let's just be honest. If Sasha versus Bayley, the storyline could be cool in that she picks her at the last minute kind of a thing, right? But okay, then the match itself. Have we not seen this 1,000,009 times?
Actually, Sasha and Bayley haven't wrestled one-on-one as much as you might think. But Justin, what were you going to say?
Well, they haven't, not on the main roster. But we're doing all this booking, and we're forgetting about one very important piece that's inevitable: Ronda Rousey. She's gonna be back sooner than later. We're forgetting about her too.
Yeah.
So, do we have any word about what's going on with her family planning plans?
I can't speak on that. All I know is I keep hearing she's going to be back on WWTV very much sooner than later. So probably like by Rumble.
You're still sticking by your prediction. There's going to be a women's WWE weekly show in 2020.
I think it's going to happen.
Yeah.
That's
been my prediction. You didn't say it was Justin's prediction?
But Justin said it like he had some inside knowledge or word. Like Justin did that.
I know that they wanted to do it for a while. They haven't done it, but now that they need network programming now that NXT
I
is on
said
USA.
this before Evolution even came, dude.
I know, dude. We've been pushing this idea for 2 years now that they do it. But Justin, you know how sometimes he says something like he knows something. You know, like Leo Rush is never going to be seen on WWE TV ever again. And we're like, shit, what is
now we're
Justin's
tossing,
a WWE insider. He's got some scoops.
Oh, now we're tossing dick darts here.
No, look, we all want it, but I think when Justin's saying, I'm hearing this about Ronda and stuff like that, that's why I'm asking, Matt. Do people text you scoops, Matt? Or people like, hey, Matt Morgan, I got a hot scoop for you about the world of wrestling?
No.
I'm going to text Matt Morgan a Vince McMahon text right now. Your phone's in the truck. Never mind.
Vince McMahon emoji.
Could you imagine?
Gotta have the pompadour hair. Gray pompadour hair.
Matt, I would never do this.
Gotta have the hard eyes.
Could you imagine? Like, oh my God, the most dickish practical joke you could do to a former talent, and Matt, no one should ever do this to you, but just set up a 203 area code number, get a former talent, start texting and pretending to be Vince.
That's my old home number back in Connecticut.
Yeah, well, I know you've got connection, but say someone's like, hey, pal, Vince here. Good Lord. We used to do that shit all the time back when I was in a band. We would like bands would call other bands and pretend to be A&R people from record labels.
Band, Glenn.
Let's not even get into that. But the point is, we would call other bands and they would call us and pretend to be with a label. And it was like, who could be the most convincing in leaving these fake voices?
Don't gloss over the most important thing. Wait, what was the band's name?
Will do these podcasts for free for the next 2 months.
Oh, Raj is listening.
If you can play an entire, do you have a video of yourself?
There are videos out there.
Out there, like on the internet?
Search. It's not hard to find if you just search for me. Like this is not even that difficult to find.
Oh, I'm on YouTube right now.
Right this second. Sorry, Raj. Bye, folks.
Let me give the recommendation, like the good stuff, like Pull and Frozen Sunshine. Like those are the two songs. I stand by those two songs. Everything else, iffy. Anyhow, really, everything's shutting down on the podcast for this right away.
Wait a minute. Oh, Matt needs to come back. Hang on.
This is your life, Justin.
Hang on, Matt. Get him back here.
Good Lord.
Wait a minute. I just found this thing from the 90s. You and MSNBC News.
Yes.
Look at you.
There's I had a life before the Wrestling Inc. podcast. I've done so. I can't believe Matt Morgan just walked off this podcast.
Yeah, because essentially someone, they were sort of going through it through the back door of saying, okay, well, if we feel the bass vibrations, that's how we'll add to the game. But the difference was
for those of you on the video here. That's young Glenn.
See, I'm looking at that. I want to punch myself in the face.
Bass vibrations off the game.
Tell me a little bit about this game, Star Fox.
Is this Katie? That's not Katie Couric, is it?
No, it's Soledad O'Brien. CNN Soledad O'Brien.
I don't even want to talk about Raw anymore.
Maybe I was hitting too
Yeah, good Lord. Well, if we could get Jeff Gerstmann to Mania, we'll do a reunion show. It'll be something.
Where did Matt go? Matt needs to get back here.
Matt's apparently off Googling me somewhere. Good Lord.
I hope he gets his phone. I did send him events. Matt, look what I found. Is
it Headboard?
This is Glenn on MSNBC in the 90s.
Yeah.
That's Glenn.
Well, it's showing the gameplay footage right now.
Is the name of your band Headboard?
Yeah, that was the band.
Look at this is the best episode we've ever.
I don't even want to talk about Raw anymore. This is fantastic.
This is way better than Raw. Okay, so I'm on Spotify.
Oh, the good stuff's not on Spotify. I mean, there's some okay stuff on Spotify. Oh yeah, this is okay.
This is you guys?
Yeah, this stuff.
Is it?
Yeah. Really, you're listening to clips.
You guys are good, Glenn.
We did some things.
Is this a female lead singer?
Well, we had female vocal. You haven't even figured out what I did in the band yet. Holy shit, Matt. Let's
see videos, not hearing it.
Yeah. Here, Raj, if you're watching this, I'm sorry, but
No, we're not. I guarantee you our ratings are shooting through the roof right now.
Raj is still traveling right now. He's fine.
Here, type in Headboard Frozen Sunshine into YouTube. This is not video, it's just audio, but you'll be able to hear my contributions in the band. Yeah, Frozen Sunshine.
Glenn, is this you? Is this the same Glenn Rubenstein, the LG 15 videos?
Yeah, that's a whole other chapter of my life. We'll save that for another podcast.
Jeez, Glenn.
Huh.
Well,
I wonder why you're verified.
You directed these videos?
I directed some of them, yeah. I had a life before the Wrestling Inc. podcast.
Look, Matt, we should be so honored. When I search Glenn Rubenstein, you and I come up right here with him. I mean,
wait, is Regulation Blue Frozen Sunshine? Is that you?
No.
Frozen Sunshine ran with Blue?
No, God, no. That was just search Headboard Frozen Sunshine. It should be the first thing that comes up on YouTube.
Dr. Phil.
Glenn, this should be your new publicity photo.
Yeah, the doctor one. That's who posted it. Who uploaded it.
This is Glenn. Yeah. Here you go, Matt. This is Glenn's publicity photo.
Yes.
That was me talking on a show I used to do, a video game show. But no, Matt, the song, you had the song. That was the song. You got it right there.
But it doesn't show you.
Yeah.
All three of us are getting fired.
This isn't your voice.
That's Jeff Gerstmann, but I'm the other guy. You can hear me.
Is that you with the phony high-pitched voice?
Well, that's an effect.
Fact, yeah.
Yeah.
Those are pretty good.
We were okay for what we did. You know, I mean, for two guys making beats on a computer, and then we added a live band. It was a whole thing.
Well, if I keep
impressed,
Googling,
Glenn.
what else am I going to find about you?
I've had some careers. I've done some stuff.
You didn't do like adult films or anything, did you?
Not that I'm aware of. I know adult film star Ron Jeremy, but that's a whole other story, not safe for this podcast.
I used to interview porn stars on the radio.
It's very similar to the world of wrestling.
It is. It was a great crossover.
There's Glenn, folks.
Lisa Ann, Alexis Monroe.
There's Glenn.
Oh my God.
Yep.
Well, Raj won't fire Matt, but Glenn, I think you and I are fired. We just waste a lot of time.
Absolutely.
Here.
No, this is how piss poor Raw is and how way more entertaining we are. But continue with the clown show.
My entire search history is now filled with Glenn Rubenstein.
Yeah, it's good. Twitter is going to be fun the next couple days. Thanks, guys. Anyhow, Drew McIntyre versus No Way Jose. Drew McIntyre somehow beating up No Way Jose tonight, but seemed coming across like a babyface. Scottish psychopath here, majorly over with the crowd, pulling that. Do you dare me? Do you dare me to give him another Claymore kick? Do you double dare me?
Like, the 3-2-1 is new too, right?
Yeah,
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a pretty babyface thing to do.
Thank you, Ebony Washington, for folks listening. Ebony Washington,
yes,
Ebony Washington donated, put in $5 and said best episode ever. So suck on that, Raj.
Yeah, Raj. No. Let's put the emphasis on the punctuation. Best episode ever. Punctuation.
Yes. So I gotta say, when he said it's going to be 3, I thought he was going to say MB. I really thought this was
really.
I shipped that in my head. I'm like, let's bring it back. I mean, what are Heath and Jinder doing
there? Please don't even put that out there. This is still a bona fide potential main eventer champion.
This sounded like a guy they're positioning. Like,
I certainly hope so. I don't know what the hell else he needs to do because he's money. He is so money.
Yeah,
and as a baby face, like I would not be expecting this just yet from him. The reaction.
Yeah. I thought this was great tonight. I mean, it really goes to show, and this kind of, I mean, not to tie this too much back into the Bayley thing, but man, it's like Drew was 100% heel, right? I mean, he did all that shit with Shane. I mean, Drew was so in heel territory. They rescued that and turned it around within a month. So with Bayley, like, you don't have to be married to anything if you've got a good idea.
And you're right. And the other thing is, it's easier to go the other way than it is the way they're asking Drew to go right now. It's much harder to go from heel to face than it is from face to heel.
Yeah.
I just want to point out Gary Paradis, not Paradise, Paradis, put in $1.99. Thanks, buddy. It says, thank you guys for all you do. Best podcast ever. Another exclamation mark.
Yeah.
And also says hashtag suck it, Raj. They're right. You're wrong.
Glenn, you have a Wikipedia page.
Oh, so does Matt.
Why? He's verified. See?
I'm verified. I don't have a Wikipedia page.
Raj ain't verified.
I'm verified.
Disturbed individual, $5.
I'm just taking poor pot shots at poor Raj. Raj, I'm just playing. Disturbed individual put in $5. Love this podcast, guys. Exclamation marks. Thanks, Disturbed individual.
In the second hour, Justin LaBar is going to be running a credit check on me, and good times. Anyhow, so I thought with Drew,
Glenn is friggin' famous. Glenn, you're famous.
I've done a lot of stuff. I wouldn't go that far. Anyhow, Drew McIntyre with this tonight. I liked him tossing No Way Jose into the conga line that was out there. And I loved his line about hating conga lines. I kind of wanted a story about that. Right? Like as a child, I was in Scotland. I was in a conga line. Like I know you think that was corny as hell, but that would have been freaking awesome.
Why he hated?
Yeah, absolutely. Because the way he said it, like, oh, I hate conga lines. And it was just like,
yeah.
Yeah, like I want to know why.
With him, you run the risk of it being dopey, though, right? Yeah. Because he's so damn. Dorian Spradlin put in $9.99. Just wanted to say, big trust, go Ravens.
Oh, so okay. Here's what I'm going to do.
This one episode has garnered more revenue in one episode. All from.
Everyone's gonna go to. I'm
Wait,
sure
Matt and Raj have made Glenn's Wikipedia, but I get left out. Look at this.
No, they didn't make my Wikipedia. Oh, they're on there. Yeah,
They got since the summer of 2016. Glenn has been the host of the Wrestling Podcast. Rubenstein is often joined by Wrestling founder Raj Giri and professional wrestler Matt Morgan. Look at this.
I'm not a current pro wrestler. They need to fix this stuff already.
Yes. So what I'll do, because I'm sure people are going to go to Spotify and look up the band stuff. Not everything is on there. If there's demand, I'll put up like a Dropbox link or something with all the stuff that we couldn't clear because we had old music with samples. So I'll put something up for the fans of this podcast. Everyone's donating tonight and doing stuff, and they're getting a kick out of talking about this.
That rap song was pretty damn good.
So I'll put up a link because we can't publish that because it's got the sample of the Romantics in there. So I mean, some of it's on YouTube, but if people want to hear stuff, I'll put together like a Dropbox link or something.
I'm not just blowing smoke. It was pretty good.
Well, thank you.
I searched Glenn, and then the number one person that comes after people also search for Matt Morgan.
Yeah. There you have it. So after that tonight, Shelton Benjamin versus Alistair Black. Great chance for Alistair Black to show his dominance to get that win.
Yeah.
But then Buddy Murphy attacks him, and they're not moving on from this feud. These guys are going to have a rematch next week.
I miss a little bit of this. There was a finish though, no? Or no?
Yeah, no, he hit him with the boot, then the black mass for the pin and the win.
Good. This was okay. I was hoping this is why they were using Shelton. Really quick, Stephen Guadea put in $5, says best podcast, WINC, exclamation mark. Thank you, Stephen. Thank you to all you guys are saying all this.
Seriously, and because people are saying, Ebony and other people are saying post it. Not to plug my Twitter, follow me on Twitter. I'll post the link on Twitter at Glenn Rubenstein. I'll post the Dropbox link.
Was you asking what kind of music it was? It was both.
Oh, it was a mix of rock and hip hop. We started as a hip hop duo, two white suburban kids, literally in their bedroom on their computer making beats, and just trying to make each other laugh with our lyrics. And then we added a live band.
I love that Ebony said, "Consider this demand posted."
But it was good. I mean, we got to do some fun stuff. I mean, without going too much into it, I mean, we opened for Run DMC once. We did some shows with the Bloodhound Gang.
Wait, what?
Yeah, no, dude, you don't get to roll over that. You opened up for Run DMC?
Yeah, but it was at a local show. Like,
I don't care if it was a flea market. That's awesome. Run DMC.
Cool. Yeah, we played with Papa Roach. We used to play teen shows, teen centers with Papa Roach, which is why I tweeted about it before I tweeted at Jacoby, because like Papa Roach, we used to just hang out with them. Like, they were our peers, and now they're doing the theme to Raw. I mean, they're still around kicking it. It's not their theme to Raw anymore.
One
but
of the coolest guitar,
they're
ever.
Yeah. No, they're great. But the big thing we did was we did this show called Farm Club once. So we had these screwed up record deals that we always sort of imploded around, or we had a lot of lineup changes. But we did the show Farm Club, and what's funny is we were on the same show. It was like a concert that Matt Pinfield hosted, but it was Eminem and Dr. Dre, and they went on before us. So it was like Eminem and Dr. Dre, then we played, then 98 Degrees played, and then Eminem played again.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
It was
and Matt Penfield, I didn't know who he is too. Yeah.
And that was a show that was on USA after Raw back in like 2000. It debuted right after Raw on Monday night on USA.
Yes.
Yeah. So it all comes around.
Thank you, Gary Paradis, again for $1.99. Please, everyone, support wrestling and hashtag bite us. I can't read that last word. All right, Jay. Raj.
And I'm filling in for Raj, and I'm so happy I did. This is great.
This is the last episode we were done. Really quick though.
Yeah.
Glenn, were you behind GTV? Was the G, Glenn? Were you behind GTV?
What GTV? What?
That's the 90s.
Okay. Anyways, all right. Listen, not to be the wet towel here, but last 2 weeks I've been saying, what's his name? Come on, Alistair needs like that intercontinental level wrestler to go over on in a strong way. Now, granted, Shelton's a little bit older and whatever the hell he's not used a lot, but he's still Shelton friggin' Benjamin. This was the perfect opponent for him to mow through.
I thought tonight I would love to see, if Brock's going at number 1, I'd love to see Alistair Black number 2 in the Rumble. So we get Alistair Black's full entrance, because if he's anywhere else in the Rumble, you don't get the full entrance. Get him the full entrance, that anticipation to see Alistair Black's striking up against Brock Lesnar just for that 2 minutes. And tonight was a little bit of foreshadowing. Shelton Benjamin is Brock's college roommate and trainer. I mean, right there.
Oh, yeah.
Would be cool. That would be cool. And I bet you Brock would be down for business too.
Hell
I bet you would sell the hell out of it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. With Buddy though, man, I'm afraid I'm afraid for Buddy
Listen,
Murphy.
they need to give Buddy Murphy the same type of love they gave him tonight. Alistair, they need to give Buddy Love that next level guy for him to steamroll over.
And that's why I think it would be wise to separate them. But I think Buddy is just here for Alistair to beat again next week.
But they need him. Like, no offense, Shelton Benjamin to me is a bigger deal than Buddy Murphy. Shelton Benjamin will be. You might laugh at me, but he's going to be in the Hall of Fame. I really feel he will.
No, I can see it. I mean, he's been involved and he's been around. But yeah, it's he's definitely in the enhancement talent portion of his career.
He definitely is. He is. But I just think a win against him is much bigger, more impressive to me than a win versus Buddy Murphy. So like they need to separate them.
Yeah.
I think hashtag Suck It Raj is going to trend. Somebody is live. I'm getting live tweets. It says if Glenn, Justin, or Matt Morgan get fired for tonight's podcast, we riot. Hashtag Suck It Raj. Another one. This is a great reason why you have to watch the live feed on YouTube with Glenn, Justin, and Matt Morgan. Best episode. I got some more Suck It Raj tweets coming through. You can type in the hashtag.
Well, this is great. And no, seriously, and everyone that watches live, I mean, I feel like we put you guys over each week, but this podcast, I mean, let me just put it this way. It's like, Matt, you're running a city. Justin, you're doing your local production stuff and you're doing your events. I'm running my agency and doing all my stuff. And I think none of us are getting rich off this podcast. The reason why we do it is because the fans are so incredible.
Yeah.
Matt and I are awake at 12:30 in the morning on the East Coast here. I mean, we have to have fun to do this.
Yeah. Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
They love it and they're the best.
Absolutely. So Seth Rollins and AOP versus Kevin Owens, Samoa Joe, and their big surprise third is Big Show. Matt, who I have to say now, after your Big Show stories, I'm just like, I don't care for him.
I'm sure he's changed since then. I hope so. This was a surprise, right?
Yeah. I mean, but Justin
didn't they do this though with him just recently?
He's
with other people. Yeah, Cesaro and what's his name? The Celtic Warrior, Sheamus.
Sheamus
came out of left field. All of a sudden, they started 6-man tagging with him.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like what they're doing with Kane, but not quite as often.
Yeah.
I got to give a shout out to I think he's a friend of the site, Sean Ross Sapp. He had a great stat that so Big Show went all of 2019 without a match. That was the first time since 1993 the Big Show was that or whatever. It's the first time in whatever since Big Show made his debut back in WCW. He went a whole year without one match. It's pretty crazy to think. And if
one match on TV,
not in 2019,
not a pay-per-view,
nothing, not in 2019. And if John Cena does not have a match next week on Raw, that'll be a whole year since Cena's had a match on TV.
Wow.
And pay-per-view.
Yeah, pay-per-view. Cena did not have one pay-per-view match in 2019, which is the first time since his debut in the early 2000s. It's crazy.
Absolutely. I just think with Big Show, I mean, the crowd was into it. Like, they were chanting, "We want Big Show," for him to get tagged in, so that worked.
Yeah.
I was expecting him to turn heel by the end of the match. It's just what he does.
It's short-lived, though. It's not something.
Yeah.
So this ended up with a win by DQ because of some bad behavior by AOP and Seth Rollins. Agam and Razor tonight, man, when those dudes took their shirts off, like, they're in much better shape than I remember them being.
Good, they better be. This is the main event level push. That's why I never understood when guys are a little bit out of shape when they're working in the main event. I'm like, what? The huge magnifying glasses on you guys right now. You don't want to give the company or anybody any rhyme or reason not to continue with the push.
Well, it goes back to what Matt said earlier about Montez and Street Profits. Montez is in really good shape. Why the hell is he wearing what he's wearing?
No, that dude probably has abs for days, I'm guessing. And it's super vascular. I don't get it either. He's probably really shredded. You could tell he is.
Yeah.
But these two, you're right. They looked friggin' awesome. They looked amazing.
No, absolutely. And man, I think tonight, like, AOP and Seth are there. Joe and Kevin Owens, this is what makes me think it's a temporary pairing. Although next week, this is where I was disappointed. They're like, next week we're gonna have a 6-man fist fight.
Yeah.
Big Show, KO, and Samoa Joe.
What is that? Is that like a brawl for all light? A fist fight?
It's just a word they're using so Big Show can do his stupid knockout punch.
Yeah.
That's all that is.
Yeah.
That's all he can do.
I liked tonight more than with what they've announced next week. So I'm going to have Randy versus AJ, which is good, but we've seen that before. I just feel like I just want every week. I just want new. I feel like that's what keeps the show exciting. So I'm excited to see what they do with Drew McIntyre next week.
Me too. And I was not a fan of this face turn of his, by the way.
Headboard for WWE Hall of Fame 2020. Suck it, Raj. The tweets just keep coming in. This is great.
Guys, add our podcast name in there, though. We can get this podcast trending.
Well, they're tagging all of us. Yeah, I mean, Jackson.
How do we get
Cowens.
our podcast? We got to get a podcast trending, though, too, to prove that this is what the fans want.
Yes.
Especially on this boring-ass Raw episode.
Tonight's Raw, believe me.
To be fair, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, you know.
If you're a fan, come see us in Tampa. We'll be in Tampa together. It'll be fun.
Yeah.
Could you
and let us know about that.
This shit show live, folks? Come on.
Maybe I'll tell you what.
Imagine the best part, Raj and his uncomfortable face when it gets all red and he's dying for Glenn to turn the page and continue to move on with the show, and me not letting him do it. Come on. That's price of admission alone.
Maybe I'll dig it. I think I still got a box or two of CDs. Maybe I'll bring those in Tampa.
Yes.
Maybe I could reenact Vince teaching Matt how to do the stutter gimmick.
There you go.
But people let us know about that because we're in the planning stages. So we've been talking about this on the podcast, but we're in the planning stages now of figuring out what we're going to do in Tampa as far as meetup or a live show. So it would actually really help if you're going to be at WrestleMania and you want to come see this live, like just a head count to gauge interest. I know we've had people in the chat room say it, but seriously, tweet, especially not only me, but tweet at Raj about that, tweet at Justin about that, and Matt as well, because we're going to be organizing this and figuring it out. So and let us know what you want. I mean, do you want just to hang out where we get together? Should we try and do the podcast live? Like, I want to know what would be the best use of everybody's time there. But it'll just be great to see everyone regardless. Every time we go to events now, it's great to meet fans of this podcast. But if we're going to do something official, it'd be great to know what you'd like to see.
Yeah, so we could pick out the proper venue for it. Maybe it's a pregame show we do.
Do they want predictions? They want to watch along with the WWE Network with us? Yeah, what do you want?
Yeah. I think it'll be good.
Seriously, we'll know what you guys want.
Do you want Glenn to give us a little musical performance? Like, what do you want?
I'm wearing that sweet Aloha shirt.
Glenn looks like he's selling timeshares.
No, I dug it out tonight because of the Rusev thing. I was like, I'm gonna find because the backdrop I found in 2 seconds online
was like, that's better than one he was using tonight.
It's this is like a free version of what he was using. Similar but different. Hey, they spent $12. It was $12 to get the official one, and I was like, I could find something as good for free. Yep. But poor Rusev. Like, but again, I think.
But not poor Rusev. The crowd is chanting.
Well, and that's what I'm saying.
Chanting for him.
He's going to walk out of this unscathed. I hope Liv does as well.
He will come out of this more over than what he walked into. Yes.
As long as the storyline does not destroy his marriage, as long as him and Lana don't actually get divorced out of.
Oh my God! Could you imagine?
And I'm not trying to be funny. In wrestling, marriages are
weird things always happen.
Yeah, as long as they come out of this okay, as long as they're good. They're one of the top ratings draws, and Rusev has gotten him his momentum back. So
I hope because they're young. I think because they're young enough in their marriage. Yeah, it's usually when the guy and gal are like older in their marriage and they've been married for a while, then they try to do this stuff. Does it kind of go? It goes a little crazy and haywire.
Yeah, we shall see. What else do we got, Justin, in the world of wrestling before we wrap it up tonight?
2 quick things. One of the big headlines, obviously, is Matt Hardy. Matt Hardy, obviously, one of the most popular stars today. You know, we've seen him off and on in WWE. When we have seen him, they're just handing him losses. Matt's contract expires on March 1st. A lot of speculation about what's going to happen. And really, the thing is here, and you can read the full story on Wrestling Inc. For Matt, it's not about the money. That's not the number one priority. It really comes down to creative. You know, he's capable of so much, as we know. And it's him wanting some creative control. So a lot of eyes are on Matt Hardy of what's going to happen with his future. Does he resign with WWE? If not, what does he do after that? Obviously, he'll have every option he wants available to him.
Why are they talking about that now if it's not up to February 1st?
Well, it's up to March 1st. But Matt,
March.
We're coming up on March 1st. And again, we had Matt a couple weeks ago starting to show up on TV, and they had him lose. And so that's just kind of the story right now. He's doing a lot of his YouTube videos again where he's really leaving some hints and speculating about what the future is going to hold. So,
Sure.
And then Jeff Hardy, Jeff and Matt, when they came back to WWE a couple years ago, they signed contracts on the same day, but Jeff's contract is going to expire at a later time because it's kind of been suspended essentially with the some of the issues he's had out of the ring with arrests and suspension. So Jeff potentially will not become a free agent as soon as Matt would, if Matt chooses to venture elsewhere. And the other story we'll talk about, USA Network. So they issued out a press release touting how they were the #1 cable network in prime time for the 14th consecutive year. USA Network, 14th consecutive year, #1 cable network. Talking about the success they had, and they gave a lot of attribution to WWE RAW for the success they had. They also talked about the straight up Steve Austin, talked about Miz and Mrs. with the Miz.
Awesome.
So I mean, in a year where us and the wrestling media rightfully will analyze Raw viewership being down, it is still important to keep our eye on the big picture, which is compared to most things
shows. Yes,
and especially most other shows get 3 months of an off season at the least.
Yep.
And WWE does not do off seasons. Maybe they should. Whole other conversation.
Right.
So just something to throw out there. But that story also on Wrestling Inc. if you want to read the whole thing.
It's a very good point to keep pointing out, Justin. Of comparing it to normal other shows. Original content, 52 weeks a year. What network would not want that?
And not even and not even just a half hour, 3 freaking
hours. It's insanity.
Yeah.
Absolutely crazy. Justin, someone has added you to my Wikipedia entry.
Really?
Yes.
Oh.
Whoever that is, always thank you very much. You've updated mine a couple
awesome.
times too, I'm guessing. So thank you.
That's awesome.
Yeah, no, our fans once again are incredible.
Really are.
Yeah, this is crazy. And tonight, look at this. We're going 1 hour and 10, and our view numbers keep growing. This is actually really fantastic, guys.
They did add me. That's funny.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Thank you to whoever that was.
We're gonna be back here Wednesday to talk about NXT and AEW. Justin, you're gonna be back Wednesday night.
I am.
Should be good. AEW should be a good one. NXT promoting the hell out of this. The first NXT of the Rhea Ripley era. I kind of like how they're putting her over so much as the face of the brand now.
Yeah,
with her big win before the holiday.
Yes, yeah. This is the way to. I like it. It's the way to go too.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing what they do.
Hot.
Absolutely. So he is at BP Matt Morgan. He's at Justin LaBar. I'm at Glenn Rubenstein. And again, if you follow me on Twitter, I will tweet out some music stuff here in the next day or so.
He's a messiah of music.
I hope not.
He's Glenn. He's Glenn. He's Glenn. Rubenstein.
You gotta say he's gonna rap.
Yes.
Glenn's rapping.
He's gonna rap.
How do you guys not want to hear Glenn rap? Come on.
It's out there. And that's what makes it funny. If I just be like, oh, I played guitar, people will be like, well, who gives a shit? Everyone plays guitar. It's like, that's nothing. It's the rap part that makes it amusing.
The music sounded incredibly legit for what it's worth, and I'm on his phone.
It was good. Yeah. I was smart to surround myself with very talented people, much like on this podcast. It makes me look better being with other people who are good at this. Anyhow, guys, this is the Wrestling Inc. podcast. We will catch you back here Wednesday night. Until then, take care, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you, fans, for tonight.